Hi, my name is Jim Penn. In today's video, I'm going to walk through an end-to-end analytic pipeline being created leveraging Qlik Cloud Data Integration. So in this demo scenario, we're going to take procurement data that we've gotten from usaspending.gov that's housed in a SQL Server on-premises database and move it through an analytic pipeline all the way to Snowflake, leveraging Qlik Cloud Data Integration. So let's get started. I'm logging into my Qlik Cloud environment, and I'm going to pivot over into the data integration section where I can create a new data project. I'll click Add New and create a data project. I'll give it a name. And the chosen data platform we're going to use today is Snowflake. So I'll add a data connection that I've already created to that Snowflake environment in AWS. When I create this project, the first thing I'm able to do is adjust some of the settings. So specifically, I'm going to come in and add a prefix to all of the schemas that Qlik Cloud Data Integration are going to create for me as part of this pipeline. Now I can onboard some data. So when I onboard some data, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose what connection I'm going to leverage for the source data. In this case, I'm leveraging that SQL Server government connection that's tethered to my data gateway that's been deployed. So when I hit next, I'm presented with a selection window where I can choose the database and search for those source tables that I want to bring into this task. So I'm going to choose all 5 of those procurement-related tables from usaspending.gov and hit next. Now I have the ability to decide, am I going to track history and am I going to make this a real-time CDC feed? I'll hit finish on this wizard, and then it opens up the landing task where I can make any adjustments I need to, or I can prepare this task for execution, which I'll do now. So it's creating the artifacts in Snowflake for me, and now I'm able to run. So when I click on run, it pivots over into the monitoring phase of this task and allows me to see the statistics about the full load that's going to happen first against this SQL Server database. There you can see that the tables are loading, and now it will return control to me, and I'll go back into the designer to add the next stage in this data pipeline. So the tools automatically created an onboarding storage task, which basically is a value-added capability to allow me to create both an operational data store and or a historical data store against that data that's been replicated and landed in Snowflake. So I've prepared the artifacts for that ODS and HDS, and now I'm going to run that task as well. So as you can see, the task will execute, and now I can move on to the next step in the pipeline, which is to create a transformation task. So the transformation task that's going to get created will allow me to build the logical model that represents the relationships amongst the source data. So I'm going to select those tables, again, that are defined from SQL Server, and now I have the ability to define the model by just simply dragging and dropping, and the tool will automatically determine the relationships amongst the tables and build that entity relationship model for me through the user interface. So we'll wait a second for that to complete. And then once that is done, I'll have the ability to prepare this as well and then execute this as well in preparation for the last piece of this project, which is to create that analytics data mart, which is the end product that I want to create coming out of this, this data pipeline. So there I've just executed the transformation task. And now the last thing I can do is I can create my data mart. So when you create the data mart, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to register all of the dimensions that are going to be represented in this data mart. So in each dimension, I have the ability to choose whether I want history tracking, aka type 1 or type 2 dimensionality. I can also have the relationships amongst parent-child dimensions flattened into a single dimension, as you saw with product or services. So I've added these 3 dimensions. Now I can add a star schema. And that's going to go against the fact table, contracting actions. I'll choose all the dimensions that I want to include. And then I'll finally choose the date that I'm going to use to drive the date and time dimensionality. The tool will automatically make suggestions of how the data mart should be created. And now I can prepare and execute this last step in the data pipeline to create that data mart. After the data mart's created, I can then preview all of the results that have been created in Snowflake. So what you'll see in Snowflake is a representation of the 4 tables in the data mart schema. As you see here, prefix CDI. And I have the contracting actions table, which is the fact table, and then the funding agencies, product or services, and recipients dimensions. Thank you.